Hey everyone, Giacomo here. We are together again to have another look at the use of AI for our classes. This time I want to give you an overlook at the difference between ChatGPT by OpenAI, Copilot by Microsoft, and Gemini by Google. I performed some tasks using all of those to see what the difference between them is. The choice will be up to you later on to consider which one to use. I'll show you the free version of all of them, but please consider the pro version is also available for all of them with more features, although it is still a bit quite expensive. In general, the AI world is changing very fast. So by the time you're watching this video, if you don't watch it right after I recorded it, maybe some features, for some new features, will be already released, especially for Gemini, because Google has in store lots of updates to be released during the summer of 2024 and also at the end of the year. Some of them are already available in America, while the rest of the world will have to wait a little bit longer. For example, Gemini will be integrated in Google Search within 2024 for everyone. Anyway, before diving in these three platforms, I wanted to have a look first at Microsoft Word. Because as I told you about Gemini that will be merged with Google Search, Microsoft already start using the AI within Word. And I want to show you a couple of things that you can do with within Words. And some of them, they're already there for quite a while, but now they actually have improved a lot, and now it makes sense to use them. So let's start. But before actually getting hands-on on Word, I need to collect some data that I will use later on. And where I'm collecting this data from YouTube. So I'm going to YouTube and I have this video here that is an interview that I really like. In this case, is in English, but we're going to do two types of video. So this one that is in English, but I'll do also another interview that it's in Italian. Now, I need to have the audio of these two interviews. So in this case, there are many different websites that allows you to extract the MP3 from a video. In this case, I choose Y2 Meta. These tools are very easy because they only ask you for the URL. You click on share and you get the address from here. So usually this one is more reliable because this one it might have some already, for example, a timestamp or something similar. So usually share and copy link is the best option. Then you go to here and then you click on search. You see the website will give you the option to download files of different size and quality. Unless it's a forever long video, otherwise I will suggest to download the bigger version so you know that it has a better quality. In this website, you could also download the whole video rather than just the audio. But at the moment, we are only interested in the audio. So here we are. We click on download. This site will take a few minutes to download. It depends also on your internet and on your type of computer, how fast they are. And once it's ready, it will download your file. Here we are. We can click on download and save our file on our computer. I already saved both interviews. So I'll give first a title to this file of my Word. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on dictate and transcribe. Here, I can upload my audio file. And I have who is interviewing who. This is the channel 4 interview. So I click on it, click on open. and wait a second for Word to upload the audio, sorry. As you can see here, I have my audio file that I can re-listen to, and I have the transcript of the interview with speaker 1 and speaker 2. It usually needs a little bit of reading through it, just in case there is something that is not perfect. Now we can add to the document, we can add just the text with the speaker, with the timestamp, or with both. In this case, I want to add both of them. And here we are. We have all our discussion here. Now, I want to add also a new transcript. So I will put here, that is the second, so it's clear then for me and for Word, and also for what we will need later on. Now, the second one is in Italian. So I need to change the language. I'll put Italian from Italy. And now I will upload the file. L'intervista a Lily Gruber. Again, I will have to wait a bit because it depends on how long is the file. It might take a little while. And so here we are with the transcription of the Italian interview. And even in this case, it is pretty accurate, although there is a little mistake. For some reason, the system understood that there was a third speaker, but he speaker 2 for just this word, so he probably didn't recognize the voice. So the whole transcription, I think, is made in speaker 1 and speaker 3 because he put that speaker 2 just for one word in, thinking that was someone else. And therefore, the whole interview will be speaker 1, speaker 3. Sometimes, if you are not really happy with it for any reason that you see some mistakes of this type, you can also run it again, and it might run it better the second time. But in this case, we are fine. I mean, we can adjust the speaker name anyway. Later on, we can do a search and replace. So we replace the speaker 3 with the actual name of the speaker and speaker 1 with the actual name. So in the meantime, add to document with speakers and timestamps. As you can see, always when Word put the transcription, it will also include the audio file on top. So you will always be able to click on it and re-listen to it. Now, in this case, it's saving on my personal OneDrive, so it will save it on the OneDrive that you have logged in on Word. So it depends on the setting of that OneDrive. The student might not be able to listen to the file if it doesn't have access to that OneDrive. So you might have to send it separately in case you want to give it to the student. But if it's for your own use, then it's easy. You can just click on it and listen to it. Now we have the whole transcription here, and so I'm happy with it. I checked, and I'll save it. So now that I have my interviews, it's true that I have my audio file, but the student cannot access. What I can do, for example, is underline a part, go to review, and read it aloud.
Perché questo fa tutto parte di questo grande programma di riforme italiane.
The pronunciation is actually quite good. So, for example, even if I do it in English,
leaving a ship and they just can't, they're there everywhere. It's,
but it's pretty accurate and close. Also, don't forget that the Word has its own translator now, and it is, again, quite good at it. So I can translate a section, I can translate the whole document. So I have my Italian interview, and I'm really not sure what this is about. It's complicated. It's a part of the interview that I really don't get. So I translate the section from Italian, detected, to, in this case, it went to Spanish, but I can translate it in any language that I want and that it is available. So in this case, I will translate it with English. Let's say now that I have all these interviews and they're very long. I mean, some of these 20 pages of interviews. So if you want to do an activity on it, or if you want to work on it, it's very long to read it through and to work. So what I can do, I already saved this file, so now I can close it. And it's now time to move to our ChatGPT or any other type of AI that we want to use. So having a look at these 4 pages, here we have our YouTube and the audio extractor. But on here, on the side, I have my ChatGPT, Copilot on the bottom left, and Gemini on the bottom right. I'm going to use all of them so you can see the differences between the result that this type of tool gives me. So the first big difference that it makes a difference on what we want to do now is, as you can see, the free version of Copilot and Gemini doesn't allow me to put any file. The only thing that I can add is an image, or I can write or dictate a prompt, so giving questions and stuff. What ChatGPT has now is this attachment option, and this is a life-changing features. Now, I'll show you why. Let's click here and let's put our file that we just create, interviews, and click on open. Now I can ask ChatGPT, can you please summarize the content of this file? Let's make it bigger because we're going to use only ChatGPT for the moment, so you can see it better. And let's go. And here we are. We have a key point of our interviews. So I don't have to read it through all of it to understand what it is about. Here it tells me speaker 1 is the interviewer, speaker 2 is Richard. So it was able to understand who these people are. And here speaker 1 is Lily Gruber, and the interviewee is the speaker 2, although as we know there is a little bit of mistake in our file. But you see ChatGPT managed to understand that there is no speaker 2 and speaker 3. Actually, it is the same person. So it gave up completely the speaker 3, and it knows there are only 2 people that they talk to each other. And here we have our main point. Now, I asked the question in English, so of course, ChatGPT is giving me the answer in English and a summary in English. But I could ask the question in Italian and he would answer me in Italian or in the language of your preference. I'm going to ask if he can create a PowerPoint on the interview number 2 to Lily Gruber. I just, instead of, and let's go. Now, ChatGPT, it's not able to literally create a file. But what it can do, it can give me a template, like the content of the things that I should put in the slides. So in this way, it's organizing the whole job for me, and then I would have to do the work on the PowerPoint. But this is already a huge advantage. So I have the slide with the title, I have an introduction, so who are the people, the interviewer and the interviewee, and what they're talking about, so the book that it's published by Rizzoli. I have the topic of the book as a third slide, and then what was the political reaction to this book, and what was the opinion of the political, the politicians on that book, and what is the public image of one of these politicians, in this specific case of our prime minister. And then a little bit side discussion about anti-fascism and constitution, freedom of the press, and then a conclusion and some questions. So here we actually talking about questions. So I can also ask, can I have some questions on the content of this interview that I can ask to my students that actually previously listened to this interview? And why not? Here we will have our main question to ask. And it also gives some division on topics, so more general, more on the content, or about public and political, about the freedom of press, and then some reflection. So to spark some conversation about it. Also, another thing is that I can ask, I can upload the PDF or a document and then ask. Now he's reading the document and looking for the things that I ask. The content of interview in the document primarily focuses on political topics, media freedoms, social issues. For example, one of the interviews discussed a book titled Non farti fottere by Lily Gruber, which addressed the influence of pornography on young people and its societal implication. There is no mention of horses in the provided excerpts. So as you can see, I can also have the ChatGPT going through if I'm looking for something specific. Okay, now what we did was to take the transcript, have a file, upload the file, and have some work on it. Of course, this one can be done with some files that you just have. You don't have a video or an audio or anything related to this file. You just have a file that might be in PDF or in Word, and you want the ChatGPT to analyze this file. And this is only possible with ChatGPT because at the moment it's the only one who allows you to actually put an attachment. But if I don't need the transcript, I don't want all these passages, I just want to know what this video is about, then I go on the video. So let's go on our first interview, the one with on Channel 4. So I copied this link on the website bar, and I go to ChatGPT and I ask, unfortunately, ChatGPT doesn't access to the video. So let's take the same question and let's ask to Copilot and to Gemini. And let's go. Let's have a look. Copilot. It didn't go directly to the video either. He wants a description of it. Gemini had no trouble at all. This video is an interview between Christian Guru Murthy, a news anchor, and Richard Ayoade, a comedian, and blah, blah, blah. And it tells me what it's about, and it gives me also the video, the snip. Now, You see how Gemini was fast on doing this, while Copilot and ChatGPT failed.
It's true that in this case, both ChatGPT and Copilot failed, but they don't always fail. It depends a little bit on the type of video that you give in them. So for some videos, sometimes they are not able to actually access to the video and read the video properly, but other times they are. So for example, in this video, that is a TED talk. So what is an I anyway? I asked the same question on ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot. And in this case, you see what the person on this video talks about. And here it is. This time I have a little bit of explanation from ChatGPT. Then in Copilot as well, I had a little bit of a summary. And then we have Gemini. And Gemini is a little bit more detailed, but again, with the video at the end. You can go to an article. For example, we have an Italian article from Il Post. So in this case, I want to know what this article is about, and maybe if I can have a summary. So, for example, I ask, could you give me a detailed description of what this article is about, with some question in Italian at the end to test my student comprehension? And on Copilot, I have a good description. It gave me the description also in Italian. I didn't specify that, but it gave me in Italian in case if you want this description in English, you might want, can you please tell me again the description in English? But in this case, did it directly in Italian. So, okay, the contest, the participant. So, who is the participant of this article? Who's talking about? Then there is a part that is a speech from Giorgia Meloni. Then it talks about Marine Le Pen, and then at the end you have some questions. So to see what the people understood from the article. This is Copilot. If I go to ChatGPT, I asked the same question. It gave me a little bit more generic description, so it didn't go really in details like Copilot, and then it gave me 4 questions. Because of course I didn't specify how many questions, so each AI made his decision. And then you have Gemini, who actually I tried many times with different type of questions. So the same question that I asked to the others, I'm still learning. Then I try to ask just the description without the question. No way. I try to reformulate, so asking what is this Italian article about, but it could not answer. Let's see if I ask, for example, some question on comprehension. No, it still seems like it doesn't want to access to this article. So as you can see, there is not the perfect tool. So sometimes one works and one doesn't. One works better, one works less. So what I suggest is to always keep them all in mind and see if you get some answer that you prefer from one, from another. And if some of them fail, don't worry, because maybe the other one will be able to do what you need them to do. Okay, so this is the end of our tutorial, and I'll see you soon with new tutorial on AI or any other tools. Bye bye.